Tony D and Little Joan with the Screenwriters Rant on the Collective, an assassin group that's gonna kill people. Oh, but they just go after the privileged. Smash like and subscribe. Thank you for smash liking and subscribing. Check out my books. Links in the description. Comedy Horror in South Jersey. It's the Pineys, books 1 through 11. Available at Amazon.com. Don't forget, Kindle Unlimited is free. So the Collective, and it's called the Collective, they are a secret organization, and they kill the untouchable privileged, as Don Johnson says in the trailer. Something like that. So this is kind of a revenge movie with a commie veneer. Ruby Rose is in it. She looks different. Did she have some work done? She looks like she lost some weight. She looks very different. I mean, that's her. I don't know. Did they butch her up for Batwoman and then she dropped a lot of weight? Maybe before she was working out a ton and then like lost the muscle, and now she looks way more feminine. Way more. Or is that just the way they dressed her and did the makeup? Lucas Till is the star, but it's with Tyrese Gibson. Black and white. I don't know what these black and white pictures mean to the movie. Don Johnson is the old veteran who runs. I run the Collective. I don't think the name is ironic at all. Ruby is like the. She's like the bad guy's assistant, I guess. And then she's going to do some fights. Written by Matthew Rogers and Jason James. Directed by Tom DiNuccio. Okay. Lucas Till with Ruby Rhodes, Mercedes Renato, Paul Van Victor with Tyrese Gibson and Don Johnson. So this is interesting. Ruby Rose, Tyrese Gibson, and Don Johnson, the three names I recognize, are not in the whole movie. They're each in like kind of part of it. Probably spread out throughout until their characters are killed or whatever. It looks okay. I mean, obviously the title and the concept and the dialogue, crazy. They're just crazy. Are they trying to like get people used to the idea of like, I don't know, hit squads for the privileged? Because that sounds awful. That sounds way awful. And your lead bad guy, of course, is, you know, some kingpin or whatever. Generic bad guy. A lot of gunplay in this. Yeah, this is your bad guy. I'm bald and rich. So, not sure who that is. Kind of looks like Robert Davey. Is that Robert Davey? I gotta check this out. Is he in this? IMDb. There's 5 Nights at Freddy's. The Collective. Here we go. I think that's Robert Davey. I'm not sure. No, it's Paul Ben Victor. Yeah, they would have had him in the credits. He looks like Robert Davey, but no hair, though. Kinda. A little bit. A little bit. I see him a lot on Twitter. That's why I said that. Anyhow, is this movie any good? I don't know. First act, they're going to have the new young gun, and they send him in on a mission, and he does a good job. He kills a bunch of dudes, but that's okay because they needed to die because the Collective decided they had to die. So you see, it's all very on the up and up, morally. And then, good job. Here's a secret pin, and I give him the secret pin, and then they tell him, "Well, you're going after big fish now. You're going after the big fish, an untouchable guy. Oh, is he untouchable? No way." So then they team him up with Tyrese Gibson in the second act. And at first they don't get along. Because who gets along in movies? That never happens in a movie. When they team up guys like this, it's always like, I don't know you. So then they're going to do some work to get close to this guy so they could kill him. And so they attempt to, and things go wrong. And Ruby Rose is the evil guy's assistant, so they got to fight her. And she keeps living, even though they keep shooting bad guy after bad guy. Don Johnson sits around and drinks, I don't know, whiskey, saying funny things, I guess, during most of the movie. Not sure when this comes out. And then the third act, I don't know, is this like a prompt for a TV show? Kind of feels like it. I mean, other than the obvious wordplay here, which seems suspiciously commie, it's a pretty standard, stupid action movie. They're just gonna kill bad guys, and you're gonna present you the bad. See how bad this guy is? Oh, he's gonna die. Isn't that satisfying? Let's see what the write-up says. A group of righteous assassins called the Collective take aim at a highly sophisticated human trafficking ring backed by a network of untouchable billionaires. With their backs against the wall, the Collective has no choice but to put their most important mission in the hands of a rookie assassin named Sam Alexander. Oh, you're a rookie assassin. What do you do for a living? I'm an assassin. I'm a rookie, though. Who wrote this? It's weird turns of phrases here. It's very strange. I mean, back in the day, you wouldn't have thought of this as I wouldn't even have thought of this as a commie thing. They hadn't had that line like, we go after the privileged. Billionaires, people who are privileged are people who are born into wealth, not people who made the money. Kingpins typically make their own money. They're not usually born rich and then say, "Oh, I'm going to go into crime," just like my dad. Usually the criminals, that's part of the reason they got so rich, is so their children wouldn't have to do it, because they usually come from very poor backgrounds. So this whole premise kind of doesn't scan. They seem to have overthought the premise a little bit, when they could have just said they were government task force, a secret government task force. I guess they're kind of hinting that maybe they are, but righteous assassins, a group of righteous assassins. Yeah, they're just around. You ever run into them? Yeah, like on a subway. Oh, where are you guys going? Oh, we're righteous assassins. We're off on a job. Oh, hey, good luck. It's like too routine. Tiresome. Feels tiresome, doesn't it? A little bit. Action looks fine, but it's like all the old tropes, And then they're trying to inject some humor. Feels like a little bit like a CBS show pilot that Don Johnson would have starred in. This Sunday on The Collective, Don Johnson has to send his rookie assassin to kill a rich guy. And then Tyrese in this scene is complaining like, "You blew up my house." It happens. It's like, you kind of I like a little comedy and levity and stuff, but it kind of undermines the seriousness of it. If you're trying to get me to take this concept seriously, I kind of don't. And that undermines the entire thing for me. Like, if I can't take the idea of the Collective seriously, if they are a group of righteous assassins, then probably the most important part is why they exist at all. That's really sort of the keystone to the entire piece, or else, like with the Kingsman, as much as I didn't really like it because I thought it was crossed too many lines for me, but I understood it. They were they were nationalistic, but they were a private entity. It didn't quite work, but it kind of did. This just seems so vague. You would need an origin story of this Collective. Started by Karl Marx in the 1800s, or whatever. Now, you would need something like why these guys operate. Because, of course, in the movie already, the Kingpin turns the tables and goes after them. Like, that's like, to me, too early to do that. You haven't even established who the hell the Collective are, and already, like, their entire deal's undone and guys are going after them. Like, it's better to keep it just mysterious, or to lay out what they are. You know, John Wick is a pretty ridiculous movie series, although it's pretty good. You know, at least you can kind of get it because they're all criminals in that one. He just worked for money. And that makes sense. The logic of that scans. The logic of this doesn't quite scan. You know, if they're righteous, like if they were all, let's say, religious, then you could assume, like, oh, okay, these guys are taking out these people because they're on a mission from God or something. That they're just taking guys out because they're bad begs the question, who do they consider bad? Like, they're only taking out rich guys. Do they consider all rich guys bad? Do they consider a certain... I mean, are they going after criminals? There's not too many criminals that are billionaires. And there are plenty of organizations already going after those guys. This is really a fantasy of a movie. All these kinds of movies are. Because when you get right down to it, who are the guys who, you know, have an elite security guy detail or criminal enforcers who would kill people for you? They tend to be uber rich guys who have way too much to protect and too many secrets, and they're willing to kill people over, hell, forget about a few $1,000,000. Try a few $1,000s. Try their business is being disrupted in some third world country. Some of these guys don't have a problem murdering people. So you go up against guys like that, man, they got connections out the wazoo. They'll find you and they'll kill you. They'll obliterate you with extreme prejudice. And when you talk about, like, even organizations like the cartel, my God, they're incredibly ruthless. So if you're gonna make light of the situation, then you gotta either go, I think, more into comedy, and still you need those reasons. But if you're not, if you expect us to take this seriously, you have to give us the metrics by which you target people. With John Wick, it's easy. He targets people for money, and then he didn't, because you know the story of John Wick. But and that's like every assassin with a heart of gold story. This is like a whole organization of assassins with a heart of gold. Like, it's more believable one guy, and John Wick had motivation, right? He didn't really want to be an assassin with a heart of gold. He turns the tables because it kind of fell that way, right? Kind of wrong place at the wrong time. Guys attack him, kill the one thing that reminds him of his wife, and he goes on a tear, and now he's sort of trapped in a back and forth with the criminals he formerly worked for. This is like, well, we're righteous assassins. What is that? Okay, you're righteous assassins. Well, it's very important then that concept have some kind of moral backing, something. And they're not going to do the Bible, so you need to. That should have been front and center in this trailer, I think. Who are you people? We're the Collective. And when somebody's untouchable and they exhaust the court system, or I don't know, maybe they cross the line at some point in their criminality. Why don't you go after all the criminals? Well, we only go after the untouchable criminals who have corrupted the system. Something like that. And then it's like a higher metric. Why are you going after this guy? He bribed his way out of a murder trial. And then you could say, okay, that's a level, right? That's a level only certain criminals rise to. You know, when they're so money that they can bribe a judge. That's when you go after them. And sometimes law enforcement looks the other way or whatever. Or maybe the founder, I don't know if it's Don Johnson, he, he's a billionaire, and maybe they tried to kill him, and he went underground, and he started the collective as revenge against some perceived wrongdoing of a guy who was untouchable. And like Batman, the guy died before he could get at him, and this is his way of going after that guy, but he can never go after that guy, so he's just constantly doing this. Like, that could work, almost like a Batman-y type story. This is just sort of there. Let's just get to the action, folks. Okay, I mean, then if you do that, this just puts this in a realm of movies like they're just interchangeable. It's a sort of movie, like, it comes on, maybe you got the TV on, you're not paying attention, you go make a sandwich and come back, and the movie's already started, and there's a cool action scene, you sit through it, and the moment the movie gets bad, you go, let me turn this up, let me see what else is on. And then maybe you come back during the commercial break, let's see how Tyrese is doing. Oh, they shot him. Oh, ouch. Oh, that's a cool thing. Oh, okay. Oh, wait, the show we were watching that had a story is back on. Oh, let me go back to that. That's the kind of thing it is. Or the kind of thing you start watching and you kind of determined to finish it, but you don't really want to. You just want to see the cool stuff. You zoom through it. That's the kind of stuff I used to do. I used to just zoom through movies. God, this is boring exposition. I do not care about these characters. Get to the cool scene I saw in the trailer, and then I just zoom through it until I got to a gunfight. I wouldn't even care why they were doing it. They didn't really explain it all that much in the movie. Anyhow, that's my assessment based on this trailer. It feels a little cheap, too. When they're doing scenes like this, it's not particularly well lit. Tyrese is, they got too much in the shot. Like, they got his beautiful mind wall behind him, and I don't know, it's not particularly well lit. If this was a bigger budget movie, I think Tyrese would be crystal clear. He wouldn't be on this kind of screen. It looks a little cheap. Just like, it's kind of like clutter in this shot. I mean, it just looks cheap to me. No offense to anybody who worked on it. I mean, I'm sure it's watchable. But that's a low bar. It's a low bar. Now, maybe the collective has a great background. They didn't put it in the trailer, but you need that. You need that on this concept, or I don't think people will be drawn to it. I mean, who's your big draw here? I guess Tyrese. Don Johnson, I mean, I know who Don Johnson is. I used to watch Miami Vice, but, and Lucas, he's not known. I think he's new. And Ruby Rose, I don't think you're going to get a lot of Ruby Rose fans, but anyhow, that's it. It's called The Collective. Thanks for tuning in. That's it for me, Tony D and Little Joan. Check us out on Odysee, Bitchute, and Rumble for our more base takes. Please check us out especially on Odysee, Bitchute, and Rumble, because you never know when YouTube is going to shut us down. So many other creators are moving over to Rumble. I'm already on it, so join me at Rumble, and make sure, if you tune in one day and you're finally sick of YouTube and I'm not here, you can just go over to Rumble and see my stuff, or Bitchute or Odysee. And if I post this, I'll post this later. So my next thing is on Thursday at Vinyl Brewing in Hamilton, New Jersey, from 5 to 9. Vinyl Brewing. It's a cool place. It's cool. So come on out for that. I'll be telling you all how to hunt the Jersey Devil. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you tomorrow.